Most people talk about their priorities, but I don't want to talk about them. I actually want to live mine. Faith, family, fitness. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking you through a day in my life. Not because I'm perfect, because I'm definitely far from that, but because I'm trying to show up every single day for the things that matter most in my life, and that is my family. So let's jump into the video. What I've realized is mornings set the tone for everything. So before I check my phone, before the world asks anything of me, I have to anchor myself. I have a couple ways that I do that, but this is where I journal, spend some time in scripture, read a few pages of a personal development book, and really just fortify my mind before I jump into my fitness. I've realized it's easy to rush out the door, but I've learned that if I don't pour into myself spiritually and mentally as soon as I wake up, I can't pour into anybody else. Not my students, not my kids, and not my wife. So the morning routine is crucial when it comes to setting up success for the rest of the day. Alright, so now it is time to train. So most of my training, actually all of my training, is done in my garage gym. And right now my current split, I'm doing an upper, lower, off, upper, lower, and then 2 days of conditioning. Those conditioning days looks like some type of EMOM, AMRAP, almost like CrossFit style workout. And they're both usually geared towards either a Dettorre race or a HYROX race. Just because right now I'm training for my next Dettorre race, which is about 12 weeks out. So that is going to be the split that I use basically to prep for that. So today was a lower body day. I got my warm up in, did some walking lunges, box jumps, and then it's just an easy jog to get the blood pumping, especially since it's like 4:30 in the morning. Then I jumped into 4x5 on squats. I'm not really lifting heavy right now, especially since it's my first week of this new program. So I'm really just trying to fill out the weight, focus on technique, and then obviously not get hurt. Once that was done, then I just jumped into 3 sets of Bulgarian split squats with about a 60-second rest in between each set. And then I finished that with some goblet squats, 3x12, and that was kind of like the strength portion of my workout. So if you watched my previous video, I kind of discussed how I have a strength portion, an endurance portion, and then almost like a conditioning piece. But today, since it was legs, it was just a strength portion and then an endurance portion. So once that was done, I jumped into the endurance part, which this was just a 20-minute AMRAP. Next week I'll probably do a 25-minute, but just again, since it's the first week of the program, I'm kind of feeling it out. So this AMRAP, which stands for obviously as many rounds as possible. I did a 200-meter run into 20 dumbbell thrusters, into 15 lunges, into 10 box step overs, and then I rode for 10 to 12 calories. So once that was done, then you just repeat it and you try to do as many rounds as possible. I want to say I got 3 rounds, and that was basically the workout part of it. So now, right now, I'm trying to improve my mile time. So you watch that was like the strength portion of all my workouts, but I also have basically a cardio portion that I'm focusing on too, to try and improve my mile time. So today was basically intervals, and what that looked like, it was speed work. So I did 6 by 200 meter run, and again, this was probably at a RPE of about 7 to 8. So I was running pretty fast at this, and then after that 200 meter basically sprint, then I would do a 200 meter jog, and that was 1 round, and I did 6 rounds of those. And then once that was done, that's when my actual workout was all done. So anyways, that's kind of what my training looks like right now. Certain days, so you heard that I do upper, lower, off, upper, lower, 2 days of conditioning, and then I believe I have 5 days of running. Basically, 2 of them are easy runs, 1 is a long run, and then 2 of them are kind of geared towards like speed work. And this is all geared, or based around trying to improve my performance at my next Dettorre race, which I believe is February 21st or something. So it's about 12 weeks out. But like I said, training looks a little bit different, obviously, now that I got another kid on the way. My main focus right now is to be able to keep this routine, something that doesn't take 4 hours of training. I can't really even devote 2 hours a day to training. So I'm really trying to focus on and hone in getting a really good quality session in about an hour, maybe even less some days, and then maybe an hour and 15 on the other days. And that's basically geared towards, or with the hope that I get a good strength portion, a good muscle endurance portion, and then some type of conditioning piece. So anyways, just finished up that. Now it's time to go inside and get ready to go to work. All right, training is done. Now it's time to head to work. For those of you who do not know, if you are new to the channel, I am a special education teacher for high school. So I teach 9th grade English and 11th grade English. I love teaching special education. I'm super biased, I think it's the best job in the planet, especially high school kids. But today I actually have to go to a training. So I'm gonna go I'm gonna go to my classroom, basically get my sub plan ready, make sure everything is set up in like Google Classroom for the students, and then I think I have to be at the training at 9. So should be interesting. I truly believe that wherever God puts you, whether that be teaching, whether that be janitorial, whether that be nursing, doctor, whatever it is, I truly believe that you do have an opportunity to make an impact on someone's life. Now, with my situation, obviously I'm around students, so I believe that this is where I am supposed to be, and something that I always tell myself and other teachers or people that are thinking about getting into teaching, I tell them to stay MAD. And MAD is an acronym that stands for making a difference, because this is one of the few jobs, if not the only job, that you come in contact with students and you're going to see them, for in my case, 183 times in 1 year for 57 minutes. And then depending on if you teach them all 4 years, I mean, you're pretty much like the only thing that I could think of that would be comparable is like the military, because the military you're in for a certain amount of time. But when it comes to teaching, that's why I take it very serious, because I think if you have that mentality, which literally I only have 106 days you see on the board, I put it up there every single day. It's a reminder to myself. And again, I'm not saying this like from a place of judgment as if I'm better than anybody else, or I don't want it to come across that way, but it is something that I take pride in, that like I'm blessed that every single day I have the opportunity. Do I do it? I don't know. Sometimes kids will say something that it's like, hey, maybe I did make a difference, but for some kids, I know I'm not making a difference, and that's probably the hardest part about teaching, especially when you care a lot. My instructional aide said something happened in class that I was very bothered by it, and she said, you know why it bothers you, Mr. Dettorre? And I was like, why? And she's like, because you care. She's like, a lot of teachers wouldn't care in that situation, and she's like, if you just stopped caring, your job probably wouldn't be as stressful. But I don't know. I take pride in my job, and I take my job very serious. So whatever your job is, believe that God put you there for a reason, and you have the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life. This is the part of the day that fills me up the most. Being a husband and a father is the greatest blessing in my life. These moments don't go on the resume or anything like that, but they're the moments that I'm going to remember forever. And hopefully, my daughter and soon-to-be son will also remember these moments. One of my goals when it comes to raising my kids is that I want them to grow up knowing what is important in life. Not just hearing me say it, but actually seeing me live it. When I was growing up, I knew what was important to my family based on what my parents did, what my mom and dad did. Like, for instance, they would wake up every morning and have a conversation with us before we went to school. They would get us ready for school. They would pack our lunches for school. I remember my mom used to always write little messages on my paper bag of like
have a great day. And she would draw like messages and suns. I'll never forget, she would always draw suns in the corner. She would take us to school, and then when we came home from school, we would always have dinner as a family. We would pray as a family. We would do all our homework basically at the dinner table as a family. And then after dinner, we would clean up the kitchen together while my parents sat on the couch and read the newspaper or just had their, drink coffee or whatever. They would have their time while the kids had their time. And then we would all watch a movie as a family or watch shows as a family. And then when we were going to bed, we would pray as a family. And my parents, again, they would talk about how important family was, but it was apparent. It was obvious how important family was to my parents based on how they lived their life. And like I said in my previous videos, I am very close with my parents to this day. And I truly believe that's because I saw them live their life in a way that what was a priority to them was very obvious. It was basically family, your faith, and working hard. It's basically what I learned from my parents, and I'm hoping that I can instill those values in my kids by having them watch me live it every single day. All right, so as the day winds down, this is when I try to set myself up for success tomorrow. I believe a good morning routine and a good day is actually set up the night before. So this is where I will prep all my food. I'll get my pre-workout meal set up. I'll get my pre-workout drink ready. I will get my clothes laid out, my gym clothes laid out, so that I don't have to make that much noise in the bedroom when Adeline and Cassie are still sleeping in the morning. Here's the thing. I understand that life gets busy, and I understand that life gets loud, and I understand that people have no time. I hear that all the time. Oh, it'd be nice to work out, but I just don't have time. You make time. You create time. You find a way around time. Everybody has 24 hours in the day. You've heard it before. It's just what becomes a priority to you is what you find time for and make time for. And I even believe create time. Because at the end of the day, you can create time if you're intentional about your schedule. So when it comes to building my day and setting up my day, I build it around, again, the things that matter most in my life. Those being faith, which you saw my morning routine where I start off, first thing I'm doing is diving into the Word, diving into the daily devotional. My family, again, they aren't awake first thing in the morning, but how I plan my day and how I plan my goals in life, they all revolve around my family. If my family is good, life is good. If my family is not taken care of and I am not, like that saying goes of the grass is always greener on the other side. Well, bro, you got to water your grass. I see my wife and my child, or my children, because I got another one coming, and my family as my grass that I have to be very intentional about watering and making it a priority. Because if I'm so focused on fitness and my job and leveling up and races and all this stuff that at the end of the day doesn't really matter, and all that is good, but yet at the same time my family is falling apart, well then that all just got way worse. So my thought process is take care of your family, the thing that matters the most, and then when life gets rough, because it will, and things start going bad at work, or you get injured, or you have certain races that you aren't doing well on, or just financial hardships, whatever it may be, I have found that if your family is in a good state, meaning you have been watering your lawn when it comes to your family, those things are still bad, but they're not as bad because you got like your anchor and your support system and everything is good there. But when life gets bad and you haven't been watering your lawn in per se when it comes to your family, then life's just a lot harder. That's at least my thought process. So like I said, faith, family, and then at the end of the day, fitness. And fitness, again, it goes through seasons with me. Sometimes it's all about I want to look a certain way. Sometimes it's I want to perform a certain way. Sometimes it's I want to feel a certain way. Right now, it's kind of all three of those. That's what I really want right now. But at the end of the day, fitness is the main goal is longevity. I want to be around for a very long time. I want to be able to. I wrestle with my daughter every single night. And I guarantee when my son is old enough, he's going to want to be a part of that too. And I always want to have energy, not only for my kids, but also for my wife, so that when I come home, it's not like I'm drained because I woke up at 4 and worked out, and then I worked all day. Like, I want to have energy. So when it comes to fitness, it revolves around your nutrition, taking care of yourself so that you're fueling right, but then that also involves resting, working out and just making sure you are the best version of yourself for your wife and your children. All right, so that basically wraps up a day in my life. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, spending the day with me. I'm hoping that when you guys watch this, you realize that my life isn't perfect and it doesn't look perfect. But what I am hoping is that maybe you got some inspiration to slow down in your current life and prioritize what really matters. Some people don't even actually know what it is that matters. So that would be my first call to action is sit down, get a pen and paper, write down your values, write down what matters most to you in life, and then look back on your day and see if you were actually intentional about watering all those lawns per se when it comes to what really matters in your life. So if you're like me, a 35-year-old husband, father, and then whatever role you are, like I said, I'm a special education teacher, but if faith, family, and fitness are of high priorities to you, then make sure you stick around, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because that is really what these past day in the life videos that come out every single Friday are all about. I would love to know in the comments below, comment what are your non-negotiables? What are some things that you value most in your life? If it's faith, family, and fitness, write them down. But if it's faith, family, fitness, and something else, write it down in the comment section below. I would love to connect with you. I'm always looking to connect with my subscribers. And then if, like I said, if you guys want to dive even a little bit deeper, then click the link in the description to my school community. It officially launches January 1st, but right now if you want to get early access, it is free. I basically just have to accept your request, but then you get into a classroom, basically a school community, where it's a bunch of like-minded fathers out there that are trying to level up and trying to get better. We are definitely not where we want to be. We aren't saying we're perfect, but we all have intentions of leveling up in the 4 pillars that we talk about: faith, fitness, finance, and fatherhood. Fatherhood obviously is the family part, but obviously if you're a father, there's certain ways of leveling up. That's what this community is all about. You'll get access to basically different classrooms that dive really into those different pillars. You have a group, there's a discussion board where you can post comments, talk to other people that have basically the same thought process as you. And then when January 1st comes around, there will be a premium level that you pay for, and then you get access to my nutrition program, my workout programs, monthly calls where you could hop on a Zoom call with me and other like-minded men that are basically trying to improve from the community. Basically a way that we could all connect, because what I'm realizing is there's a lot of men out there and fathers out there and husbands out there that think the same way I do, but it's very hard. Maybe you don't have any connections to those in your local area. So I wanted to create a space where we could all basically communicate that way. So if that sounds something you're interested in, look at the link in the description, send a request, I'll let you join the community. And then you guys already know the motto here: stay happy, stay healthy, and above all, don't be average. I'll catch you guys in the next one.